We have a lot of Love After Lockup updates we need to talk about in this video. First, starting off with Chazz. When Chazz was on the show, a lot of people noticed that he had this really big scar on the back of his head that literally went from one ear to the other ear. And Chazz informed me in an interview with him that he ended up getting a hair transplant. And one Reddit user found some pictures of Chazz back in the day before his hair transplant and pictures afterwards, and it is such a dramatic difference. Like, you would have had no idea that Chazz looked like this at one point. He looks like a completely different person. The company just needs to go ahead and make him a spokesperson and show his results, because the results speak for themselves. And when I was on Chazz's Facebook profile, because that's where he posts most of his updates nowadays, I noticed in his intro on his Facebook profile, it says, "No, I will not give you money for your sick parent, child/car repair. Get a freaking job." He has to make sure he lets them all know. And that just tells me that he's had a lot of people asking him for money after probably seeing him on the show. And then Chazz posted, "I had a wonderful week because of a visit from this incredible woman." So this woman here is allegedly seeing Chazz right now. I'm not sure where she's from, but she traveled up to come see him, and she's very beautiful. It looks like they went to the shooting range and then went out and had some drinks. So I love that for Chazz. Now let's talk about SHEIN. Last time we talked about SHEIN, we were talking about how he ended up pleading guilty to the animal cruelty charges, and he finally turned himself into jail on August 16th. I was told by my source that he's going to have to serve about 3 months total in jail before he's able to get out. And now let's talk about Mikey. So Mikey has been posting on social media all these different car shows he's been traveling to recently. He was showing off his new lifted truck he recently bought, showing off his car he has, and showing off some of his other toys, like his bike he has pictured here. And then he posted on his Facebook earlier today, and he did turn around and delete it, so I'm glad I got the receipts before he deleted them. He wasn't getting the response he was expecting, so I believe that's why he decided to delete it. So this is what he said. "So everyone knows I was charged with DV a couple months ago, and if I don't get the case dismissed, then I'll violate my parole and be sent back to prison. So please help with my GoFundMe to obtain a lawyer. I have more than enough evidence to show I'm innocent, but due to me having a public offender," I think he meant public defender, "I'm getting so screwed in court, and they won't file motions or even answer my calls. My only option is to hire an attorney who can help. Please do so. Anything will help. I have 2 weeks before court, so rally up and let's do this. Thanks and God bless." He says, "I know my fan base is strong, and I ask anyone who can help to please do so." And then he shared his GoFundMe. Liz commented and said, "I'm not trying to be rude, but you live an expensive lifestyle to have zero savings for emergencies. You got a nice new truck you probably can't afford if you're not having savings for emergencies. You're just posting new motorcycle gear 3 days ago and now want people's money. You're always posting an expensive clothing, jewelry, and you have kids and no savings apparently. You can't blame Chelsea for everything. You're making bad financial decisions, period." I do agree with what she had to say, because he's got multiple vehicles. He has at least one bike that I know of. He just was showing off his new motorcycle gear. It's been traveling multiple times these past few weeks. If I knew that I had to pay for a lawyer, I would be cutting back my spending and traveling and wait till the court case is over, and I would be trying to get rid of one of my vehicles or my bike, because like he said, they're just toys. They're not something that he needs. It just seems like he doesn't want to give up his luxurious lifestyle, and he just wants other people to foot the bill on his lawyer fees. And someone else said, if you didn't do anything wrong, prove your innocence. You wouldn't need a lawyer. One thing, you have fans, but now it seems like you're taking advantage. And I'm starting to think he probably saw all the success that Michael from 90 Day Fiance had with his GoFundMe, and he probably thought, wow, I should do the same thing. And he probably thought it would go over like Michael's and he would have thousands, but at this time, nobody has yet to donate. And someone else said lies, because he can help his public defender or file on motion to dismiss his lawyer. Back in the days, I had an assault and battery with intent to unalive charge. Not only did I file a motion to dismiss my public defender for not having my best interest at heart, the judge approved it and I went and got a paid attorney. I didn't just expect my paid attorney to do all the work either. I did some of the work too, because it was my life that was looking at 25 years. Thank God I beat my dog on case. So all that pity he's trying to get from people need to stop, stand up, handle your business as a man. One thing about CDV or DV, there is physical proof that you harm someone. Sir, bye. I think it just makes it difficult for people to donate because they have no idea if he is innocent or guilty. And say someone drops $500 of their life savings on his GoFundMe and he turns around and is found guilty and sent to prison, then they're going to feel some type of way for supporting someone who put their hands on a woman if he is found guilty. And then he sent his GoFundMe, my name is Michael, also known as Mikey from the TV show Love After Lockup. I'm currently on parole and was recently charged with DV case, which I am completely innocent of. But due to our broken system, I'm going to be forced out if I don't get a lawyer. The lawyer costs $4,000 and I would be so grateful if my fans and anyone could help me out. Now let's talk about Ray. We talked about him, I think, in our last updates video. And Sarcasm put out an article about a week ago revealing that Ray had been arrested on August 11th for family, DV against a family member. And at the time, we had no idea who was the victim in this case. So Sarcasm requested more information, and they found out that Ray allegedly, according to the court paperwork, put his hands on Britney. He ended up striking Britney with his hand, and Britney called the police. He was arrested, and he ended up getting out of jail. And Britney put a I think it was an order of protection on him. So he is not allowed to come near the home or come near her until the beginning of October. It was like a 50-day protection order. And he can have contact with Britney. He just can't have like any threatening or harassing contact with her. And now let's talk about Lindsay. Lindsay posted that she recently celebrated 3 years sober, which I can't believe how much time is flying, because it just feels like a few years ago I was seeing her on my TV screen at Scott's house trashing his desk and looked like she was in a full-on meth rage. And she says, today marks 3 years of sobriety and I'm so glad for this incredible journey. This December I'll be walking across the stage to receive my bachelor's degree, a dream I once thought was out of reach. So congratulations to Lindsay. It's always nice to see people try to turn their lives around. And now let's talk about Heather. So Heather posted that she had a visit with her son earlier, and Xavier decided to show up in like booty jean shorts. And she said, why is my husband dressing like Joe Dirt all of a sudden? Xavier, come on, man. And I'm honestly shocked that the family services department or wherever she has her visits at actually let him come in like that. And then she posted other pictures of him where he's wearing these short shorts. I used to wonder if Heather was just making up these rants where she claimed that Xavier was turning into a girl and calling him trans. And I don't think he's trans, but you can tell that he's definitely been dressing a lot more feminine lately. And at this point, she needs to try to help that man. unless he likes dressing like this, and if that's the case, then let him do whatever makes his little heart happy. But if he's just wearing these clothes because he has no other options, then Heather needs to try to like help him, like find some resources where he can get clothes. You know, there's buy nothing groups in almost every city. I bet if she goes to Facebook and types in buy nothing Chicago, she can find plenty of Facebook groups where people are giving away free stuff, and people give away men's clothes and all kinds of stuff in these groups. She keeps claiming there's no resources in Chicago, but I just looked it up and there's plenty of food pantries and clothing closets all over Chicago that they could take advantage of. And if you saw my short about Heather the other day, then you already saw me talking about this. But for the ones who didn't see my short, Heather is back in a shelter now with Xavier. So you would think she would be happy. She said she's in a shelter where she's like in a bunk bed, and she said there's like 6 different people to each room. She claims as soon as she wakes up every morning, she leaves the shelter and tries to avoid the shelter all day until she has to come home before like they close up the shelter for the night. And she claims she does that because she says everybody in the shelter is on drugs, and she doesn't understand why they allow these people to just do drugs and come back and be high. And she says they're constantly disturbing her peace. But the worst part of all, she said she never eats there. According to her, she's like, I never eat there. I make sure I always eat other places while I'm out all day. And she said she came home one day right after dinner, and she said all of a sudden she was chilling in her bunk bed, and one of the workers of the shelter stormed in the door and said, Heather, you need to get in there and do the dishes. And Heather said she ended up doing the dishes, but she was very upset because she feels like it's not her responsibility. She said, I don't eat there. I shouldn't have to do the dishes. And she's like, I'm a tax-paying citizen, you know, going down the normal list of things she normally says as different excuses of why she needs to continue to be entitled and lazy. She tried to argue with them at first and say she wasn't doing it. And they're like, look, part of you being in the shelter is you have to help out around here. And it's like, seriously, she's not paying rent. This is a free place. And if you do eat here, they're at least giving you the option to eat here 3 times a day on top of whatever else that they're supplying you with. And the least you can do is do some freaking dishes for one freaking dinner. And she said that she ended up doing it, but she was pissed off the whole time, and she made Xavier help her and do most of them. And I'm just like, okay, this girl is a lost cause. If she can't even do no dishes for her shelter, then I don't see her lasting at a normal job. It's like she wanted this so bad, and then she gets it and she's still not happy. She still has to pick holes on why this ain't working out to make her look like as much of a victim as much as possible. But that is it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Check out my lashes at AccordingtoAmber.com. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.